Hello, everyone. Today we are excited about our guest, a speaker, success coach, and author of several books. Our guest has a fantastic story to tell. And what I like about our guest is that he's passionate about building and strengthening his community. Today we have Dr. Sinclair Grey. Welcome, sir, and how are you?
I'm doing well. First of all, thank you for having me on this beautiful day. Good to see you again. Been a while since we talked, probably maybe about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, definitely. It has been a while, and the last time it was
Yeah,
by your group, it was fantastic. But to kick things
definitely
off,
awesome.
tell us about tell us what you do and how you started your coaching business.
Well, thank you for my once again for having me. As you know, I'm a speaker, writer, author, and success coach. I started my coaching business officially when I came down here to Georgia. Moved from the DMV. For those of your listeners, that's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And when I came down here, took a leap of faith coming from the area coming down Georgia and decided to make coaching my full-time business. I've had some success in the Maryland, DC area, and some of my experience working with the corporate world and different entrepreneurs. I said, well, you know what, let me come down here and really make a name for myself. Only people I had really that knew me was family. So went out networked and really started meeting people and started putting into practice what I teach. And there goes coaching full time.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I know different coaches would offer different services, but tell us about the coaching services you offer.
Okay, well, definitely there are a lot of tremendous coaches out there. Some of the things I offer is teaching entrepreneurs how to network. I think entrepreneurs just simply don't know how to network. They walk around, pass out business cards, and they're sitting back waiting on the phone, sending out bogus and emails that get no response. So I kind of work with them on how to create the sales process, kind of understand how to network, what you do with networking, how to make networking effective always from not just a formal setting, from an informal setting. Along with that, teach them sales strategies as well as leadership, conflict resolution, and how to do email marketing. So I pretty much look at their whole business and find out where their weakness is, and then tailor programs to help bring their strength out. In addition to that, from the individual perspective, I tap into their leadership, find out their strengths and weaknesses, and give them ideas on how to build their strengths. So often we focus so much on the strengths and not enough on the weaknesses. I look at the weaknesses and find out what we can do to tailor the weaknesses to make them strengths. So that's what I do in coaching.
Perfect, perfect. And you touched briefly on about your about networking, and I just want you to tell our
Yes.
audience real quick about your networking group here in Atlanta. It's a fantastic group, and I've been there before. I want you to tell our audience, what is that group?
The name of the group is called the Great Entrepreneur Success Group. We meet on Mondays. We started meeting on Mondays probably about 3 years ago. We came up with the official name about a year ago. But in the process with that, we also have training on different aspects of your business. So this group of business owners that we bring together to teach, to train, to educate, to network. I like to call it a small chamber of commerce because it's not only open up for folks in Georgia, but folks outside of Georgia. We have 2 members in Virginia, but because they can't really participate in a lot of the functions that we have here in Georgia, it's really hard for them. But we meet every Monday, always learning, always meeting some of the who's who in the industry. So hope that answered it.
Yeah, that's interesting that it's not just strictly a local situation. So my follow-up question is, when you're coaching people with networking now in the COVID situation, how are you doing that? What's the adaptation? Obviously, we're all doing Zoom calls, but how do you go about structuring your networking agenda or
Okay.
process, however you call it?
Well, I'll answer the last question first. As far as doing the networking groups, we still meet on Mondays. It's really simple. We have a great attendance on Mondays. Actually, Andre was part of it, so he kind of knows the flow. So I'm always finding a speaker, and they're more than willing to come and to be a part of the group. So one of the things that on Mondays, the difference is we just can't meet in person. And because we can't meet in person, we're doing on Zoom. So I've shrank it from 1 hour down to 30 minutes. I don't know about you, but when you do a lot of Zoom calls throughout the week, people are tired of Zoom. So I want people to come in and give the right information. It's basically a lot of people who know one another. So no elevator pitches, no specials. They get straight into the teaching, make it very interactive. Now, to answer the first question, how do you really coach people? I have a few clients, believe it or not, that still want to meet in person. So of course we do our 6 feet. We have our mask. We're almost like, opposite ends of the room in the conference room. So we're able to meet there. But a lot of it is by Zoom or simply by phone call.
What I mean is how is the strategy, how should someone adjust their own strategy for networking in the current situation?
Okay. There are a lot of businesses that are doing Zoom. They're breaking up to conference rooms. They're breaking up to breakout rooms. I think what they need to do is set up meetings from that and then be able to set up a one-on-one, whether it's a phone call or a Zoom call. That's what I'm finding a lot of people are doing. That's becoming really effective. One of the organizations I'm a part of, they meet every week, so I'm always hopping on that call. If it's someone who I want to talk to, I email them, hey, what's your email, what's your phone number, then I set up something outside of that, rather than going into a breakout room with maybe 2, 3, or 10 other people. I want to kind of, have that one-on-one.
Perfect. What type of business do you serve?
It's definitely not for every business. I deal with basically solopreneur. Anywhere from a lot of solopreneurs I'm really dealing with. Then I deal with companies up to maybe about 5 employees. That way I can make it easy. And if I'm doing a type of training, if I'm doing a type of speaking, that can go as up to a few hundred employees. They'll invite me to come in and give a speech, give a talk, give a motivational lesson, and then that's it. So that's pretty much the larger audiences. It's a one-time thing. But when it comes to the individual, I like to work from either 1 to 3 individuals. That way it's a lot easier. It's more personalized. The distractions are limited, and I can get real focused.
Great. What separates you from another business coach?
I think what separates me is one, definitely I'm passionate. Number 2, I know what I'm doing. I specialize in results without making excuses. So I want to sound kind of like your drill sergeant, but I'm a little bit kinder. I can be the drill sergeant when I need to. Number 3 is everything is measurable. I like to measure success. I want to find out, are you doing what we've implemented, what works, what didn't work, and I will hold you accountable for that. I also think that you have to love what you do. I love what I'm doing, and I can truly say I can do this. I love what I do so much that I can do it without getting paid for it. And that is something that that separates myself from a lot of coaches. I don't want to say I'm the best of the best, but I am very good at what I do. Those that I've coached in the past and continue coaching, they rave about it. They've seen great success. They send referrals, and I love what I'm doing. I take a personal interest into them, not just into their business, but also into them as an individual. I'm always sending out information to find out how their family's doing, how their business is doing, and it has nothing to do with trying to get income. I always have a habit of asking people, "What's your birthday? Tell me some of your likes and dislikes." One of the things that Andre, since you asked that question, what separates me, if this, someone doing month to month, instead of doing 4 weeks, I try to I had a 5th weekend because the first week is just get to know about them, about their business, about who they are as a person. Because I'm a believer, if there's no harmony, if there's no something that's syncing us, then I can't coach you and you're not coachable. I will turn down clients that I have no type of energy towards. But it has to be something that we're having fun, we can bond together, we can laugh, we can be serious, we can challenge one another. So that's what I do. The first session is always, even though it's a paid session, the first session is tell me a little bit about your business, what you need to work on, but also tell me about who you are. If I don't know them as a person, then I can't effectively coach them in their business and also in their personhood, if you want to say.
Right. I'm curious. I dug around your website a little bit. You have a degree in criminology. Can you talk about that path that you took from criminology to this?
Great question. Great question. The degree is in criminology because the intent was to go to law school.
Okay.
I did not make it into law school. My last semester at University of Maryland was very difficult. And then when I graduated, I had a friend who owned a printing company. And then they said, well, look, you can become my marketing director. had no idea what a marketing
Yeah.
director was. I knew how to,
Faith, I guess.
exactly. I knew all about sales, but I knew nothing about being a marketing director. And from that point on, I stayed in sales, whether it was marketing, advertising, selling door to door,
Wow.
picking up a telephone, telemarketing. So I got thrown into sales. And then, yes, I was able to get my graduate degree and a different degree other than criminology, but I was able to use criminology when I was working in nonprofits, working with at-risk kids in Maryland and DC, working with gangs, doing rites of passage facilitation, graduation speakers. So I was able to put that in some context, but sales, graduated, I think, May 21st, 1991. That following week, I had my first sales job.
Wow. So you learned business the hard way. I mean, that's
Yes,
the world
I
of
learned business.
on the ground. Yeah.
Most definitely learned it the hard way. Worked for her for quite some time, left there, and I started my own printing company. Learned how to do printing, learned how to really go door to door. So everything I learned from her, I took it and I applied it. And then every sales job I've had, I've always applied some of the knowledge I've learned from her. And surprisingly, there were some companies that I worked for that really did not teach you how to sell. They taught you how to sell on the telephone. They taught you how to sell within a script, but they never taught you how to build relationships. And that was something that I had to learn on my own. You know, the school of hard knocks. It was get the sale, ask for the referral, next person.
Yeah, and that is what it is now. I mean, it's all relationship based.
Exactly.
So that's so important.
I agree totally. And I think when you build relationships, it helps smooth everything over. The sales process is so much easier. You don't have to be begging people. And in many ways, once you build a relationship, not just in the business, but you find something that's in common, you can get contracts and get deals done a whole lot easier.
No, you're so right. Well, people do business with who they know. You have to build a relationship for them to get to know you. So doctor, we're in the greatest pandemic of all time. What have you observed in your own clients and also in your business since this COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, a lot of my clients have suffered financially because they were used to having certain clients, especially the services, the insurance, the financial services. You can coach them, you can teach them everything in the book, but in the end, when their clients, their customers aren't paying, when, I hate to say, the money is funny and the change is strange, and when people are withdrawing services, you can coach people all you want, but they're not getting clients. That's hard. So I'm seeing a lot of clients that they're suffering. Those who used to get out and network, those who got out and went to different meetings and conducted seminars and conferences, they're suffering because I think to be honest for a second, I should say, to be real, it's really hard to charge people to come to a conference when everything is done on Zoom. Exactly. It's really hard to really reach the masses on Zoom, and I think a lot of times a lot of businesses are suffering tremendously. I've known many business owners, they live by networking. I live by networking because I'm always trying to say go to 2 to 3 networking events a week. If you go to 2 or 3 networking events a week, you're bound to get more clients. So I think a lot of people are really suffering with that. And also, many people are having a difficulty trying to redefine how they're doing business, especially the business that depends on customers coming in and out of their facility. Do they have a mask? Do they not wear a mask? How clean is their environment? Are people just afraid to get out? And I think a lot of times that's when you have to follow up and you have to let customers and clients know. So if you come into our establishment, we're going to do everything we can to not serve you, but give you an experience that will not frighten you and that will not deter you. But I think you have to be very honest with people. So I think, yes, this pandemic is really hurting and crushing a lot of people.
Yeah, and if we don't reopen, if the reopening is delayed, is that pretty much your advice? Like more of the same, just keep trying to do these things?
That's a very good question. I wrestle with that all the time. Do we reopen or do we remain closed? If I was signing political or without, what do I want to say? Not caring about people. I think there has to be some type of opening, but I think it has to be a safe opening. I think what's happening is that people are not being very specific. You just can't say open up, but I think there has to be certain guidelines. And
Right.
I
Protocol.
want,
Yeah.
right. Tell me something. You know, one of the things my wife and I we laugh about when they're telling people to wear masks all the time. Yes, we wear masks when we go to a store, but we see people outside the neighborhood walking wearing a mask. The question is, why am I wearing a mask? I'm not socially. There's nobody on the street. I'm walking by myself. Why do I need a mask on? And I think what happens is that I think the more specific, and as you said, the more how if we lay out the protocols, what people can and can't do, then I think people will say, okay, you know what, we can go back to this together. But when you make blanket statements, say, okay, we need to reopen, a lot of people say, well, no, we can't reopen. And it's just like, you know, businesses can't survive. Because you know, I think about the barbers, I think about, you know, those who, you know, depend on customers day after day. It's hard for them to survive. Anne Marie, before you saw me today, I had a full beard. And this last week, I told my wife, I said, you know, I'm just shaving. You know, at that time, I was still going to the barber, but after a while, I'm like, you know what, I'm tired of going to the barber. You know, I trust her, but it's like, you know what, I'll just go ahead and shave it off.
Yeah.
That's just one less aspect, but I think people need to understand when it comes to business, they will need to find a way to either to remain open, to do business more effectively. Because if we're honest with ourselves, every business cannot be done on Zoom. Every business cannot be done on a conference call. There still needs to be some type of human-to-human contact. We can do Zoom here, which is great, and people can do Zoom all they want, but are we really giving it that much attention? Can I really look at your body language? Can I really look into your eyes? Can I really say, you know what, can we really do business? It's almost like the Zoom is what I call it just an updated telephone call. You know, you can tell anybody on the telephone, yes, no, whatever, but it's something when it's face to face.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's it's a challenge for a lot of people. So as the reopening rolls out, I guess, are you able to coach people through that as well? Is that something that you are going to offer in your coaching?
Most definitely. You know, we just have to change our process. You know, we're still doing business, but we have to change how we're doing business. Whatever business that you're doing, you just have to know how to do it different and also better. It doesn't mean that you shut down the doors. It means you just have to become creative because, you know, depending on where you're going, depending on who you're meeting with, you're going to have to be creative. Everyone won't come back to you, but this is the opportunity to get new clients and new customers.
No, definitely.
I think you go ahead.
No, I'm saying you touched on process, and I want you to tell our audience. You spoke about like, you know, some of your business, some business owners, they're down right now because of COVID. So say I'm one of those business owners, and I come to you and say, Doctor, I want some guidance moving forward. So just give us an idea of your process, how you walk me through.
Okay. Well, first thing I would do, I would say, tell me a little bit about yourself. Find out why you went into business. What is it about your business? One of the things I will ask you, do you still love your business? Do you still love doing what you're doing? I think a lot of times people are into business for the wrong things. And if they're just in the business just to make money, but not really go through the holistic process, then I need to know who I'm working with. But I would say let's find out where you are, where you were, and where you want to go. I will find out what are some things that you're doing right now that you didn't do then, what worked for you. So I would do a whole analysis of what worked for you, what didn't work for you. But I want to find out your mental condition. I'm not a psychologist. I want to find out where you are mentally. I want to find out, is this something that you want to keep on doing? If you're doing, social media, do you love it? Or is it something like I'm just doing just to pass time? Well, then that's a different type of strategy. But I think everyone that we come into contact with who has a business, who has suffered this pandemic, I want to find out, is your passion still there? Is your passion still there for your business? Is your passion still there for helping? Is your passion still there for your clients? because if anything has slipped, then we need to either reignite it, or then I need to take a different type of coaching strategy. Then am I coaching your business, or am I coaching you as an individual? So that's what I would have to figure out.
Good points. Those are good points. So we know that you're established as an advocate for community change. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, community change, I definitely, we see a lot of stuff with social justice. I'm always for social justice, entrepreneurship. One of the things, I don't know if I put in the bio, I was a former public official. I was on the school board for Social Circle, Georgia, dealing with the kids. I'm a big proponent for education and having children, having the school system look at our children and teach them not to pass a test, but to educate them for the real world. I'm also a proponent for mentoring. I don't want to say every child needs to go to college, because one time I didn't want to go to college myself, but I went to college. But I think that we need to really look at our children, ask them what do they want to do, what their likes and dislikes are, and tailor a program towards them. I also believe definitely in the community. I'm on the economic development for Rockdale County. So I believe that bringing everybody to the table for an understanding of what are we going to do to make a change. If people want to have a change in their community, their neighborhood, what do you need? By asking questions, meeting people, talking to them, addressing their concerns. I think we all know if someone gives you 10 concerns, you can't deal with all 10 at one time. What are some of your top 10 concerns? What are the top 10? What are the top 3 concerns? And really start addressing those concerns and communicating with them and really trying to see an effect. And always having an open door policy. That's one of the things I learned, not only in sales, but also being on the school board. And I don't know if any of your listeners have been to Social Circle, but Social Circle, Georgia is a very small city, probably about between 4,000 residents. So pretty much everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And you have to really be open to the public, to really take time to call people, to hear people out, and just to be a human being and really try to say, look, I'm doing this for the right cause, and really be willing to accept criticism. Yeah. No one likes criticism, but you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. But what do you see as the biggest obstacle for business owners? Why they haven't moved to the next level? I know there are many, but if you could pinpoint one that you've seen over the years.
Can I give 2?
Well,
I say one is fear. I think a lot of business owners, they want to stay local. They like doing the same things over and over again. So I think it's fear, because whenever there's fear, that means you're going to do just the bare minimum. When you want to grow, when you want to get global, that means you have to take more responsibility. You have to think differently. Also, I think one of the things that troubles me the most is the elevator pitches and the networking of entrepreneurs. I can't tell you how many times I'm sure everybody's going to a networking event and somebody just walks up, give them a business card. What do you do for a living? Here's my business card. And they want to vomit, if you want to say, their whole elevator speech. And it's like, I don't want to hear that. I want you to know who you are. So I think so many times business owners just don't know how to give an elevator pitch. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things when we were meeting, I did for the business group, I would tell people you have a 7 to 10 second elevator pitch. And, I've trained almost everybody in my group. So if you can't give a 10-second elevator pitch that makes me want to come talk to you, then I tell people you need to come see me. But I have cut people off in the meetings. I'm like, look, you talk too much. If you go 20 or 30 seconds, you're talking too much. I don't need a sales pitch. So our thing is that they become too comfortable. And I say that, and I don't want to generalize it. There are entrepreneurs who have office spaces, whether it's office space or storefront. They used to go out, they used to hit the streets, they used to network, they used to do whatever, but now they got an office space. Now they have a storefront. Yes, while they have to run that, they become somewhat lazy. They forget what got them that office space. They forgot what got them to that particular success. And now, rather than going out getting business, rather than going out and meeting people, they're sitting back wanting everybody to come to them. I am a true testimony that I had a printing company when I was in Maryland, knocked on doors. I was doing very well. All of a sudden, a real estate agent said, look, Sinclair, you can come in and you can use our office. I stopped knocking on doors. People calling me, say, I want business cards. I said, well, you can come to my office. And they said, well, no, won't you come to us? And I got big-headed. So that's one of the things I would say that has hurt a lot of people.
those are all fantastic tips. You know, I know we're coming down to the end, but you wrote a book about the ABCs of networking.
Okay, well, the name of the book is called The ABCs of Making Business Networking Work for You. Basically, it's 26, from A to Z, 26 steps on how to make networking work. First one is attitude. You have to have the right attitude. You have to love what you're doing. Business cards, confidence. You have to go in there for plans. So it really lays out how to network effectively and network to make networking work for you. It's more than just teaching you go and pass out a business card. It teaches you how to follow up. It's a real, I like to call it a real simple book, but it's a very powerful book that a lot of people have used, and they treat it like their networking Bible.
Can anybody get that book, or is
I'm proud to say
is it just for your clients?
I'm sorry?
Can anybody get it?
Oh no, anybody can get the book. You can go on Amazon and order the book. But I always tell people, if you want to order in bulk, 10 or more, please call me or email me at sinclairgrey.org. And the reason I say that is that, you know, anybody who's an author knows that Amazon gets their profits.
Of course.
And I tell a lot of people, you know, if it's 1 to 4 books you want, great, yes, go to Amazon. But when you want large, and I say 10 or more, please contact me. That way I can still ship you the books. I can get the books printed, but still the same price, but a lot more of the profits come to me rather than to Amazon. So definitely go on Amazon and get it.
Yeah.
How can our listeners reach you?
Yeah, call me at 678-516-0779. That's 678-516-0779. Or you can go to my website at sinclairgrey.org. That's sinclairgrey.org, sinclairgrey.org. Or call me. I answer every phone call. If you contact me, I will respond. I'm not one of those that will take 48 hours to call you back. Usually, if I'm on a phone call, I'll text me, but I try to return everybody's call immediately.
And can anybody listening join the Monday group? The Monday network?
I mean, what they need to do, they need to email me at Dr.Grey, that's DRGREY at sinclairgrey.org. Email me, I'll put you on my entrepreneurship list, and I'll send out the information to you every week to let you know who we're having. We've had some great speakers. If I can plug in Anne-Marie, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, we had one of America's top social media influencers in the world out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Ms. Donna Baxter Porcher. I write for her magazine. So she was one of our guest speakers. And so we're always trying to have some of the movers and shakers. So yes, they have to email me. That way I put them on the list. They get the invite for Zoom, because we only do it for 30 minutes. We started now, we end at 9:30. You know, everyone knows, but like that, email me at Dr.Grey at sinclairgrey.org. They email me, I'll be more than happy to put them on.
Great. 9 a.m.?
9 a.m. on Mondays, from 9 to 9:30.
Okay.
just to be clear, Doctor, it's not a closed business group, right?
No, it's not. It's not closed. It's open right now. It's free to join. It's free to be a part of. We're going to be eventually putting a cost associated with it, probably towards the end of the year. I'm still working on some things, but right now it is free. But a lot of people have received a lot of business from it, so we're just trying to expand it more and more.
Yeah, it's a fantastic group. I presented there, and
yes.
it was fun. So,
exactly.
So Doctor, thank you so much for coming on today. We thoroughly enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was all mine. It was all mine. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you being here.
Anytime.
And stay safe.
Stay safe.
All right, you guys have a great day.
All right, thanks.